Hello, this is Frontline here, and welcome to another episode on the Craftaway realm. And let me say, I have been deprived. I have been deprived of the thing that I have been wanting to do most on this server, and that is redstone. I've tried to be able to do different redstone builds. I've done some practical stuff, but not very many fun things. Fun redstone is something that is going to be very rampant in the gaming district. You're able to create like timers and like mechanisms and all sorts of stuff to be able to have a grand old time in this place. And today will be no exception. I was originally going to start on creating the entrance to the gaming district here, because this is going to be a giant building here that I've already laid out, and I've already laid out a lot of foundations in the gaming district, to be fair, just judging by all the stone pillars and stuff. But yeah, what we are going to do is we are going to be building a mini game. I don't actually know the name of what this place is going to be called, but it does use a recent feature that got added to the game, stripped logs. I'll explain more after building the structure, and then we'll try and work underneath to be able to get the redstone. It's going to be in that little building place over there. And yeah, I'll catch you back up once that is actually gotten started. Behind us, we have a start. And in front of us, we have a sneak peek at what we're going to be doing eventually. But let's not worry about that quite yet. This is what we're working on today. This right here, I'm going to fill up all of these dispensers, and I'm going to explain the rules of the game eventually, but the idea that I can preview you guys with here is that we're going to have dirt underneath each of these spots. I've actually dug away the ground because I was almost certain that if I put the dirt there immediately, it would have just turned into mycelium, and I don't really want that to happen right now. So I kind of want it to be real dirt and not that. So eventually we'll put that in. Actually, we can probably put that in now. Dispensers are next to them, and that's because the game is going to be, you like put down saplings, and there's going to be a cycle of redstone that happens that makes it so that these dispensers here will actually every so often give out bone meal. So one of the objectives of the game is that you want to be able to plant down your trees, chop it down with an axe. And that's all I'm going to say about the rules right now. Right now, we got to build the redstone for this thing. And it's something that is pretty interesting. I got to figure out exactly how it's going to fit. But yeah, that's definitely going to be a cool little thing that I'll catch you back up in the next clip once I have like a better start over how it's going to utilize the space underneath this whole entire thing. So already the redstone is theoretically in place to be able to have the whole entire system working. Right now we have a button here that will probably be the actual starting mechanism to the game. You'd be able to just press the button, and it would actually run a timer that would stop the game when it's time. It's actually on, it's the max duration it's able to be on. But the max duration is still a pretty good time for it to be able to go through the entire cycle. So it's going to be kind of hard to explain this, but right here we basically have what is a ether hopper clock, but is wired in such a way that it makes it so that it only pulses for the amount of time that we want it to. It only goes through one cycle. It doesn't go back and forth like the traditional method. I don't know if this is something he showed in his video, but this is something that I came up with modifying his own thing. Basically, you have a redstone torch here on both sides. Actually, it's symmetrical, and it makes it so that automatically the pistons would want to be extended on the side that the redstone torch is just on, like that. So it's kind of inverted in a way. Whenever there's an item in the hopper, in this case right here we have a hopper just full of sticks, that's the max duration it will be able to go through. It powers this right here, which in turn powers the redstone torch that's there. I can't really reach it easily right now, but believe me, it's on this block in that direction there. So it would be powering the piston, but at the moment it's not. So then once it goes through its cycle, it starts moving items through to the other one. When this whole entire thing gets activated, the redstone block becomes here as well, so it actually keeps moving the items around. How this thing gets powered is that only when this redstone dust is off does this redstone torch turn on. Then this is the actual clock. This is the thing that in subtract mode it will just like go through a whole entire pulsing pattern that leads to all of the droppers around. So yeah, once it's actually going, that means that the both of the comparators will be on, thus turning off both redstone torches and having this line be off. And that's basically how it works. So it'll be able to go through here. The middle dropper is the interesting one because I don't want it to activate every single time. We're actually using a very traditional method of a randomizer. Right here, all of these items are stackable, so they only emit a redstone output of 1. But whenever it goes into the hopper and it's the stackable item, in this case the wooden sword, it would actually travel 3 blocks, lead directly to this redstone torch, and be able to give a little pulse that will power that thing and dispense the item. It actually could be a dropper, but I think that dispensers actually look cooler. So it's got its round thing. It's actually going to be an ender pearl. I've got like a bunch of ender pearls here. I might have to grab an extra stockpile and put it into the actual main entrance building. But for now, that's what we have. All of these are actually already filled with bone meal, so I don't have to worry about that. If we actually activate the system, you'll be able to see it, because the bone meal, when there's nothing to power it, automatically has like little dust particles that come out. So it's able to just like do this. It's a very slow cycle, but I kind of want it to be. I don't want the whole entire clock working too fast that your trees automatically grow in just one go. I want it to be like the trees grow maybe like after 4 bone meals, and you have to wait for a while for it to go through, and you might want to be planting saplings elsewhere and like go through and see. It's like then you have an ender pearl in the middle, and then you try and use that to be able to go all over the place. I'll explain the rules a little bit more in detail again once this place is built up, but you're starting to get a little bit of a sense of it. I am hinting towards it quite a bit here. It's going to be kind of chaos. One player against another trying to bone meal the tree, well, not really bone meal, but plant trees and be able to cut them down and stuff. And of course there will be other mechanisms and things that will, or other mechanics like game rules that will be able to be implemented to make this thing a little bit better. There was actually one thing that I kind of forgot to do in like the whole entire building process, and that's these little slabs up here. So it's like when the trees build or they grow up, we don't want the oak trees to be giant because the oak trees will most definitely be like way too big if we let it not be capped off at a certain point. This is like the compromise height. I think that this height will be the best for the actual game, just because we're actually also going to have birch trees. I think it's going to actually put a slight disadvantage on anyone who chooses oak, because sometimes maybe the tree will fail because it tries to grow a supermassive tree but then like isn't able to, so it resets its pattern. So I don't know how that affects like the chances of gameplay. I think it'll be all right, but maybe like people will switch teams or something like in between just to make sure that nothing wrong happens and that there's no foul play and like people only using oak. So basically the height I did though, just in case you want to build this yourself, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then this is on the 8th block, basically. So what I did was just I put oak slab on top of the 7 blocks and moved it over to where the actual dirt is. So yeah, that's basically how I'm going to be doing it. I'm going to do it for these 2 tree locations. I'm glad that when I was collecting some of the oak wood, it didn't end up accidentally making a giant tree I had to cut down. But yeah, I'll catch you back up then, And yeah, we're also going to probably try and build the building over there too. I'm already creating a path that will actually lead to the thing as well. I believe I said in the last clip that I was going to be focusing on being able to do the other building, but I kind of got a little bit carried away, and I was basically just planting a bunch of saplings here to be able to harvest some oak wood, because obviously we're going to use it a lot in what we're building right now. But yeah, when I was harvesting all the wood, I was just all like, huh, I guess I could just like kind of mark out where all the pillars are going to be. It led one to the other. I was all like, oh, I'm just going to build the entire pillar, and then it ended up being I wanted to grab birch wood as well from these stations, and it just turned into a thing where I basically just completed the minigame interior. It's not technically perfect. I realized that later on. It's almost perfect, but like sometimes the oak trees for some reason grow large enough that they actually do touch the wall, and if they touch the wall, that's a bad thing because there's oak wood here that would prevent the leaves from decaying. So really all you need to do is just basically like break the leaves around the walls if they end up going like that, otherwise they naturally decay. Even if there's leaves here, it doesn't interfere with the game, like no matter what type of leaves there are, that doesn't actually affect the tree growth in that area, even if it's a different type of tree, like oak and birch. I've like tested stuff a lot, and it should be alright. But anyway, you can see that it's like now we have like the button with a redstone lamp. You'd be able to just kind of press it. I guess I could demonstrate this again. There's no saplings here at the moment, but yeah, if I just press that, it's like, ooh, apparently the first time I did the ender pearl. But yeah, you can kind of see that it's like all of them are perfectly timed. They'll last for about 2 minutes. Like, it's not exact timer, but yeah, we're going to be able to work on the actual entrance building to this thing, and I'll catch you back up once I have a little bit more progress on that whole entire thing. Yeah. We are on the final stretch now. This right here is the front of the building, but obviously it still needs a little bit of the details. So you can see it's like we already have like the stripped logs on the top here. I knew that like the main building had to have at least some kind of an aspect of stripped logs to it, especially since that's basically what the game's going to be based upon. Looking at this now, I guess one of the details we need to do is have a path actually leading to the second door as well, because there's going to be 2 entrances. I just kind of decided to have 2 entrances because I'm kind of obsessed with symmetry, and I really didn't know like what I would want to do with that side if I didn't have a doorway. So yeah, that's kind of how I designed it. On the top here, you can see that at night we will have like glowstone going through the top of the structure, just like the roof there. I kind of wanted it to be a little bit more lit, and it's like with stairs, if you didn't know, in Bedrock, they are transparent blocks, so the light will be able to shine through them. I'm probably also going to put like slabs at the top here, like oak slabs, because I have still some left over, and I'll be able to make more, so that we can have like a ceiling and not have to be able to see the whole entire dark oak like staircase thing at the top with the glowstone accompanied with it. So as you can see here, this is going to be the entrance. It's going to be right next to the other thing that we're going to be building that I want to build in the next episode. We will see how that works. Again, this whole entire gaming district, it's a lot of work to be able to get this thing working. So hopefully that'll be the next episode. We will go ahead, finish off the details. This right here you can see is the path that actually leads to where the minigame is, because this isn't going to be the area for the minigame. This is just an entrance that will allow you to maybe check up on the rules. I think that this is going to be the rule board. Either that or this is going to be. I haven't quite decided yet, but yeah, we'll be able to sort that whole entire thing out here shortly. I'm going to go over here, be able to fill in this whole entire thing to make it look better. And of course actually harvest these trees, because I've been harvesting a lot of oak wood, but I probably don't need that much more oak wood anymore. So yeah, we'll make this place actually ready to be able to play a minigame. And yeah, in this episode we're not going to test it. We're just going to explain how it's going to work. But hopefully sometime soon in the future we will be able to test it by bringing some other member of the Craftaway realm on here and be able to actually do the first game. But yeah, for now, we're just going to finish this place up, make it cool. I'm going to actually reveal the name of what this place is going to be called and actually how this game is going to work. I know it's been a long episode. I still haven't even told you most of the important information, but yeah, I've been trying to save it to the end just to not spoil anything. I believe almost everything is done with this minigame. I'm going to go over a small little thing that kind of frustrated me in trying to create the rules though. And it's the fact that strip is apparently a censored word in the Bedrock Edition of Minecraft. So here, for some reason it also censored the word I, but let's just ignore that. Like, basically this was supposed to read like, I love to strip logs. It is the purpose of this minigame. Because obviously, when you go ahead and you left trigger or right click, whichever device you're on, if you do that, it strips the logs. You pick it up and it's like, bam, it's a stripped piece of oak wood. So obviously the process that you do that is stripping. And for some reason, well, I kind of know the reason, but Minecraft has decided that stripping is bad. And the word strip is something you're not allowed to write on signs. Yeah, this is one of the things that was just kind of annoying. But I actually am able to get around that with the title of the minigame, because I'm actually using banners and there's no way to censor banners. Because the minigame is actually going to be called, make sure I'm placing it in the right place here, and then I've got, I can't really put it all in my inventory right now, the strip, and then I gotta get the P. Here's the P, there we go. So this place is going to be called the strip. It is understandable in some ways, but now that like there is called stripped logs in the game, I feel like they should get rid of it. I already tweeted that they should get rid of it. I doubt that they read the tweets anyway, so it's probably not going to really do much. But yeah, I really believe that was just something that kind of annoyed me for a bit. So let's just ignore that for now and get into the rules. For some reason, it only censors strip sometimes too, because I created this and I was like, rules for the strip. And I was able to write it there. I don't know like what was up like in the later signs that I was trying to do, but yeah, let's just ignore that. So grab your materials from one of the chests to start. Both players must stand on opposite sides of the arena, one of them being on the side of the button to start the redstone. You saw like in the arena over here, there was like the side with the button. Basically the idea is that one person will be over here, standing like on top of like the dispenser, however the people want to actually do it. He'd be able to like turn around, press the button, and then like the dispensers and all that would start firing. The other player, before that happens, would just be standing on the opposite side of the arena. They'd like have equal opportunity. The people would be able to like place down saplings and stuff. But of course I'm getting ahead of myself. I didn't read all of the rules quite yet. So yeah, let's head back over there and continue on, shall we? So right here, during the game you may place saplings on any dirt space. Debarkify your enemy's logs. And this was the sign that actually I struggled with, because I kept trying to say like strip away your enemy's logs or like that kind of thing, and it just turned out that it's like strip. I'm not able to type that, so I was just all like debarkify. It's the closest I could get that's the most concise way to write it. So anyway, debarkify your enemy's logs. Destroy the rest of the saplings after the dispenser stop firing. Basically, that's like the time limit rule where you have to get rid of the saplings so they don't just grow on their own after the game stops. And yeah, person with the most intact logs wins. So basically how that's going to work, I don't actually have any of the saplings on me right now, but we are able to go around and get those to be able to actually play the game here. So it ends up being that you're just going to be placing the saplings. The dispensers every once in a while will be dispensing their bone meal in its very slow process. I could speed it up if the game actually does run a little bit slow and you're basically waiting for like trees to grow all the time. But I think that honestly the way that it's set up, it should work out fine. So anyway, I've got birch, I've got the oak, and then we're able to just kind of head back up. I've probably at some point got actually organized that place and like make this the actual entrance, but we're probably going to do that last, or I don't know. It's something I've been putting off because I'm not very good at designing buildings all that well. I'm good at designing them if I know the interiors first and I'm able to just decorate the outsides afterward. But with that one, it's like I have to design the entire building, what it's going to be, how it's all going to work, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's like with the saplings, you basically just like place them down wherever. Apparently the dispensers have already stopped firing, and for this game, there was 11 ender pearls. That's actually a really good amount for a game. So again, there's like randomness in that kind of way. You place down the saplings. Once they grow, I do have bone meal on me. They would grow very randomly. Sometimes it takes a lot, but if you're on the birch team, you would want to like strip this away like before the other person gets it. The other person would go ahead and grab the logs. You are able to strip them from here as well. You don't have to be on the side of the block. So you'd want to be able like maybe even break away some of the stripped logs just so that you're able to get the entire tree. But yeah, however many of the actual normal logs that aren't stripped you have, that's going to be your score. That's how you're going to be able to say, okay, who won, the birch or the oak? And it's all dependent on that. But anyway, guys, that should really be the completed minigame here. We've actually implemented one new thing, and that's the previous winner thing. So here is actually the chest that we're going to use. It's not like you have to use the chests, but I think that it's kind of a cool little traditional thing that you can do, where it's like you just put all of your pieces of oak wood into here. If you're on the oak team, you put all your pieces of birch here on the birch team. You'd be able to swap and be able to see how much the other player has, and either be really excited or really sad, and be able to move your customary arrow into whoever actually won the game. Right now there hasn't been a previous winner, so I'm just going to keep it in the up position just to not elude any kind of dominance of either team. We'll kind of see how that whole entire thing works anyway. But yeah, the other thing I've actually done is added the brown carpet on top of the glowstone. The glowstone is, I don't think necessary, but I kind of prefer it to be lit up over in this area. So yeah, that's going to be all for this episode, though I hope you guys enjoyed it. We will eventually try and play this minigame at some point in the future, and yeah, stay tuned for that. But until next time, I will see you guys all later. Bye.